Hello there, and welcome to today's assembly. Today we're going to be talking about creativity. Now, creativity can mean lots of different things, but we can all agree it's great to be creative. Now, what does creativity mean? Well, often creativity means coming up with something new, designing, making, drawing something fabulous for the first time maybe. But as we'll find out in our story today, actually creativity is about creating something new with the pieces that you already have. So, like most assemblies, we're going to start our assembly with a story. Now, this story you might not have heard before, but I'll bet as you start to listen to it, you may well have in your mind's eye another story that you have heard that's very well known, that is based upon this one. So this story dates back thousands of years and comes out from ancient China. It's the story of the tiger and the fox. A long, long time ago, in a dense, green, luscious forest, there was a terrific and terrifying tiger who roamed the land. He had long, sharp teeth and dagger-like claws. He was the master of stealth and was the fastest creature in the forest. For all of these reasons, he ruled the land. The creatures feared him. If they could, they ran away before he arrived, and ran away through the trees and off into the undergrowth. The tiger stood up tall, prowled around and climbed to the top of the nearest hill. He gazed out, a silhouette in the sky, and said, "This is my land. I am Lord of the forest." Well, one day he was walking along, looking for something to gobble up, as per usual, when there, in the path, he saw a fox. The fox was long, lean and slender, and had burnished bronze fur and a tufty tail. She was nimble and quick, but by comparison to the tiger, she was tiny. With great speed, stealth and skill, the tiger jumped out from the undergrowth and pounced quickly on top of the fox. "I am a terrific and terrifying tiger. I am lord of this forest, and now I shall gobble you up." But the fox did not look worried at all. It simply turned towards the tiger and said, as it was pinned down on the floor, "You cannot touch me." "What do you mean I can't touch you? I am the lord of this forest. I am much bigger and stronger than you are, and I shall now gobble you up." "Lord of the forest you may be, but I am queen of the forest, put here by the gods themselves, and I do not take orders from a mere lord." Well, the tiger was confused and a little bit worried. Was this a trick? He'd never heard of the queen of the forest before. "What do you mean, queen of the forest? I've never heard of that before. What proof do you have?" Escaping the tiger's gaze, creeping out and standing up tall, the fox stood and strode. Come, you'll see. Walk behind and follow me. You'll have your proof enough." So, the terrifically tall tiger followed the fiendish fox through the wood. They walked along through the woods until finally they came to some trees, where up in the highest branches, thousands of birds lay perched, gazing around the forest. Well, the moment they saw the fox and the tiger following behind, they flew off in a mad panic. They flew through the trees and went out into the distance, through the undergrowth, far, far away. Well, The tiger became a little worried. Having seen the birds react to the fox in such a way, and a feeling of unease grew, a feeling of fear, a feeling that maybe the tiger should not be here. Well, they carried on through their path, through the forest, until finally they came to a herd of deer. They prowled up so as not to frighten them, but when they saw the fox, the deer stared for a moment and then ran away in a mad panic, off through the trees, off into the distance and through the undergrowth. And as the tiger looked on, a feeling grew, a feeling of unease, a feeling of fear, a feeling that maybe the tiger should not be here. They continued on their journey through the forest. They went over a hill, they went through a stream, and finally they came to a clearing. There in the clearing was a herd of horses, all whinnying and watching. Well, suddenly, when they saw the fox and the tiger standing behind her, they turned and they galloped away. They galloped off into the distance, through the trees, off into the undergrowth, never to be seen again. The tiger looked on, gulped. A feeling started to grow, a feeling of uncertainty, a feeling of fear, a feeling that the tiger should maybe not be here. "You see," said the fox, "I am queen of the forest, and everybody who sees me fears me." Well, the tiger became very, very worried and turned to the fox. "I'm very sorry, Queen. I appear to have made a grave mistake. Please take pity on me and forgive me, and I will never trouble you again." And finally, the tiger, like a kitten, ran away, off into the distance and through the trees, and off into the undergrowth, never to be seen again. Well, I will bet that this story reminded you of another story that you might have read quite a lot when you were younger. Now, bearing in mind, this story dates back 4,000 years at least, and comes from ancient China, whereas the story you've probably heard was much more modern than that. And what does this have to do with creativity? Well, I think this has got a lot to do with creativity. If we go back to what we said before, being creative is coming up with something new with the pieces that you already have. It's solving a problem in an interesting way. Well, I think the fox solved a problem in a very magnificent way when she came up with a story about being the queen of the forest. In any normal circumstances, the fox would have been doomed to failure. But because of their creativity and their great problem solving, they managed to get out of a very difficult situation. Likewise, I think, as you've probably worked out, I think there are a lot of links between this story and the story of The Gruffalo by Julia Donaldson. Now, I love the story of The Gruffalo, which, if you have not read, is a story about a mouse that is being preyed upon by lots of other animals in the forest. But each time, the mouse manages to get out of that problem by telling them that he knows a big monster called a Gruffalo. And at the end, the Gruffalo appears and says that he's going to eat the mouse. But the mouse says, "Look, everyone else is afraid of me. Come and see." And of course, the Gruffalo is also following behind. So there's a lot of parallels between the Gruffalo and the tiger and the fox. But what I think's clever is that Julia Donaldson has obviously taken these different pieces of the story in the past. It's not exactly the same. And she's put them together in a different way. She's turned it into a poem as well, so it's more memorable to children. And by putting all these pieces together in a new way, giving the characters different personas, having lots and lots of great animations and great drawings and changing things, she's put them into a new way and created a sensational and very creative children's story with the pieces that she already have. Now, this is why I think this story is really about creativity, because sometimes we think, there are creative people, there are not creative people, or, I would be creative, but I don't have any ideas about something new. We can't imagine something entirely new. We imagine things with the pieces we have. We've all got little Lego bricks of experience, and when we reshuffle those and put them into different configurations, there are infinite possibilities. So when you're thinking about your next big idea, whether it's writing a story or designing a character, or whether it's making something at home or building a Lego model even, okay, we've got to think about those experiences we have had and then changing those around a little bit. And that's how we end up being creative. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our story today, and I hope you all continue to be creative cats. See you soon.